Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Anggun Santoso, and now I'm on sixth semester of English Education Department. So in this day, I would like to describe about my sociolinguistic task. It is about language attitude. So we have to know what language attitude is. First is language. Language is primary means of humans' communication. It is a powerful social force that does more than convey intended referential information. It also indicates both personal and social characteristics of the speaker. Depending on the particular listener, speaker essence, speech pattern, vocabulary, intonation, and etc. can serve as marks for evaluating that speaker appearance, personality, social status, and character, among other things. So, for the second stage, let's talk about attitude. Attitude is attitude like if you translate it for bahasa, attitude means tingkah laku or perilaku. But if we say, if we looking for means attitude is the attitude. It is a behavior of person interacting with others accompanied by a tendency to act in accordance with that attitude. Another opinion says the nation of attitude is the attitude on the affective aspect that determine a person in acting, because there is a willingness to act that determines a person act according to the character of the attitude they have. According to Lambert, attitude consists of three components. First, cognitive, second, affective, and third, connotative components. The cognitive component refers to an individual's belief structure. Second, the affective is to emotional reaction, and the connotative is the component comprehends the tendency to behave in certain way towards the attitude. And then language attitude is the feeling that people can feel to respond another language. In Indonesian people, it can be shown through behavior or gesture. Language attitude can be also defined as people respond when another speaks to them. Someone can show different attitude in communication. Besides, people can show positive or negative attitude. For instance, Javanese is no longer use their own language because of some problems. It can be because the societies that do not let them to use such the language. Let's move to measuring language attitude. A language attitude can be positive or negative. In reality, some people may also hold a neutral attitude to measure attitude towards language and its speaker. There are two methods to be applied. First is a direct method is measuring language attitude by asking question in an interview or giving a questionnaire to fill in some respondent. In its method, an interview asks questions to which the respondent will directly state the interviewee's language attitude. For the second method is an indirect method. It is a method to measure someone's language attitude. This method is applied in the way that the participants are not aware that their attitude are being measured. The most popular types is named the guys. Research that use this method Researchers that use this method did an experiment to get their informants judge speaker personalities based on the recorded speech they hear. So let's move to the factor that can influence the language attitude. The first is the prestige and power of the language. In many countries around the world, an enthusiasm to learning English it is uncommon. Some people assume that learning a foreign language, English for example, will correlate with declining the national loyalty of the learners. However, scholars have learned that the enthusiasm on learning a foreign language is not always correlates with a negative attitude toward the national and cultural feeling of the learners. Research on Japanese children studying English, for example, proved that although the learners show great attraction toward the Western culture, as well as the language being studies, they kept holding strong Japanese identify and a language loyalty. It is from the passion and power for the language. Let's move for the second factors. For the second is historical background of nation. Some Middle East people may not want to study English because they learn from their history that Western people were colonialists. The view is possibly strengthened with some complicated temporary dispute between the Western and Arabic or Muslim cultures. Like maybe Western ever been colonized in their historical so Muslim usually wanted to study English because of that history. Let's move to the third to the third factors of language attitude. The third factor is the social and traditional factor. In a society where is diglossic situation is found, the higher variety of the language is normally considered as better from than the lower one. And then for to the last language enter to the last language factor of language attitude. This is the language internal system. People often show positive attitude towards learning a language because the grammar, pronunciation, and vocabulary are relatively easy. As the gender-based nominal system of the language is difficult to learn when compared to English, students may choose to learn English instead of French and German. A negative attitude might be also found toward learning Chinese with its complex tonal pronunciation and orthographic system. From this factor, it may be everyone who learn English language will show positive attitude because we study about the grammar, pronunciation, and vocabulary first. So what we get from what we study is almost of the good things. So the good language show the good attitude. There is maybe show a positive attitude. Also show as positive attitude. But a negative attitude may be also found towards learning Chinese, which is conflict tonal pronunciation, and orthographic system. So I think from there are so many lesson we get from language attitude, because language attitude is an important things that we have to know, and we have to practice it, and we have to show a good attitude for speak up or for learning. But I get something from language attitude, uh, based on uh, based on my experience, that if we study English, we could always show positive attitude, because when we study English, like what I told before, there's factor of language attitude. When we study English, we study of grammar and pronunciation, and all of the lesson include the positive attitude to speak up in English, maybe like that. So language attitude is, in bahasa, is cara berbahasa, or bagaimana kita berbicara kepada seseorang. So for the conclusion, there is language is the primary means of humans communication, and attitude is behavior of person interaction with another person, and language attitude is the feeling that the people can feel to respond another language. And then measuring language attitude, this can be positive or negative. In reality, some people may also hold a neutral attitude to measure attitude towards language and its speaker. There is two methods. There are direct method and indirect method. Direct method is language attitude by asking question and interview by giving questionnaire and like that. But in an indirect method, it is method to measure someone language attitude is applied in the way the participants are not aware that their attitude being measured. For this method, the most popular type is named the match. Guys, this is the researcher used this method did an experiment to get their information judge speaker personality. And then the factor that can influence the language attitude. The first factor is the prestige and power of the language. It may contrast around the world enthusiast to English. It's not common. Some people assume that learning a foreign language will correlate with declining the national loyalty of the learners. And the second is historical background of nation. It can be the reason why Muslim or some Middle East people may not study about English because of their history, like that. And the third is the social and traditional factor. This is maybe like your grandmother do not use English for speaking. And the last is language internal system. Like I told you before, language internal system is may make a good attitude for you, because when people study English, they might be a good speaker, because we study both grammar and pronunciation before. Okay, just that from me, and as I say, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.